Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home, which is my weekly live stream show right here on Facebook at Nations Organization's main fan page. Tonight is Tuesday, March 19th, and it's a gorgeous evening here in Tomah, Wisconsin. You can kind of see the reflection of the setting sun behind me as it's reflected off the windows. It's kind of nice, actually, because, when I'm broadcasting from home from my meditation room, that doesn't have any windows in it. So it's kind of nice to be back in the academy and broadcasting the live stream shows from here because I have windows. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening for Communications from Home. And for those who will be watching by recorded video, we welcome you as well, and thanking you for taking the time to watch a recorded video. Tonight is a very special night. I've been looking forward to it since we scheduled it, actually, my guest and I. And so I'm gonna pause here just for a second and to make sure that we are liking and sharing this show, especially for those people who have friends and family, relatives who really love the ocean and everything about the ocean, all the creatures in the ocean, right? And so if you know anybody like that, you might want to share it with them because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And so I'm going to get my phone and I am going to find our live stream and I am going to like it and I'm going to share it. And I'm sharing it to my live stream. To my newsfeed, and letting my friends know, reminding them that I'm live streaming tonight, and asking them to please join. It'd be nice if I spelled correctly. That would help. Okay, there we go. We're going to post that. Yeah. And so since I'm not sure if Stephanie is going to be able to join us tonight, I am going to also share it over to the closed group for the radio network. And I'm just going to remind the peeps that we're live streaming this tonight. And doesn't take very long. I'm almost done. There we go. And we're going to share it over to the radio network closed group and also to the academy closed group. There we go. There, that's done. It doesn't take long. And so thanks for allowing me to pause for that. And so tonight is a really special night. Really it is, because my guest is the newest author for Star Nations Publishing. We are in the final stages, the last pieces that are falling together to be able to publish her book. And I wanted you all to meet her because some of our community may not know her and others definitely do. And we want to celebrate with her and to hear about her love for whales and dolphins and the ocean. Okay. And so I'm gonna let you know a little bit about her. My guest is Madonna DePalo, and she is a certified I can never pronounce this, Usui Reiki master and a certified angel card reader. She is an intuitive empath and an award-winning floral designer, animal welfare and environmental advocate with a lifelong connection to the sacred cetaceans. Madonna is a nature lover who enjoys digging in her garden and planting beautiful flowers, especially those petunias of pinks, whites, and purples. She lives in Prairie Hall, Maryland, by the beautiful Chesapeake Bay, with her human family of 5 and a larger family of silly squirrels who come to her door and beg when the outside peanut supply has been depleted. You can almost hear them knocking on the door, right? And so I wanted to bring to you my guest, Madonna DePalo.
Hi,
Welcome to the
everyone.
show. Welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Hi, Neshi. Hi, everybody.
I tell you, Madonna, I have been so excited to have this interview with you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right about the squirrels. They do knock on the door
I
and they
could just,
climb the
I could just
screen.
see them doing their little paws knocking, saying
They
hello.
do. They do.
We ordered a while ago and it hasn't arrived yet.
I have a drive-through.
But Madonna, she has a brand new children's book coming out. In fact, it's going to be out at the end of this month, and it's called The Sound Weavers. And Madonna, since we've been working on it pretty intensely I would say the last month for sure, right?
Right.
We started this journey quite some time ago, but we brought it to the front burner and we turned up the heat on it. And it's really cooking now.
It sure
And
is.
yes, it is. And so, for our audience what I'd like to do before I ask you the question is say hello to a few people, because you might know some of these people that are
Okay.
here with us, okay?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Who's here? Christine Pollock is with us. One of my Yay!
Beautiful illustrator.
Yes, and Madonna chose Christine, or actually, why don't we put it this way? Spirit chose Madonna and Christine to work together to collaborate on this book, and Christine is the illustrator for this children's book. And so it's so good to see you in the chat, Christine. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and Maria is here with us too.
Maria, oh, my friend. Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
Hi, Maria.
Good to have you here, Maria. And Jackie's here with us too. Jackie is always good to see you in the chat. And Monica Miller is here too. And you might know this lady.
Yeah, she's my sister. Yes,
I'm so excited to hear about Madonna's book. So are we. So are we. And so thank you everybody for being with us this evening. And I do invite you to also share and like the live stream so that we have those people who really want to be here can get a chance to also hear about Madonna's new book. Okay. We appreciate that. So Madonna, I'd like our audience to get to know you a bit. And so one of the questions that, I always ask, especially new authors, is that what brought you to the decision to write a book about cetaceans? And what are cetaceans? Because some people don't know that word.
Okay, right. That's the cetaceans. It's the order of Cetacea. It's a scientific classification for all whales and dolphins and porpoises. They all fall under that order in science. So when I say cetaceans, I'm just referring to all the whales and dolphins and porpoises and all beings in that particular order. What brought me to write a children's book about them would probably, I'd have to say, a lifelong connection to them. I've loved them since childhood. Way back when, in a long time ago, I won't say how long, but when I was a kid, I used to love nature shows, and I still do. But back then it was Wild Kingdom, the Mutual of Omaha show. I used to watch that religiously every Sunday, and it was always followed by The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. And while I loved all the animals there, I was always hoping to catch a glimpse of whales or dolphins or any of those beings because they fascinated me. And I always wanted to know more because they were these huge, massive, gentle giants just gliding through the water, and they intrigued me all the time. So my whole life, I've kind of felt like, almost like they were an extension of my family. I felt a very close relationship with them. And even in college, I don't know if I ever told anybody this, but when I was in college, I didn't have any money to put posters on my dorm wall. So I actually drew pictures of whales and dolphins on typing paper, and I taped them to the wall over my bed, and it kind of felt like I brought my family with me. So all this time, my whole life, I've loved them. And as I got older, I started becoming more involved in animal advocacy and environmental advocacy, for the rights of animals and all beings just to live in peace and live in freedom. And I used to protest at the circus every year when they came to town. And I probably signed thousands of petitions and written letters and all kinds, and donated, and even bought a billboard in Thailand once. But yeah, so I love them all. And I was really have become concerned with how animals are viewed, because intuitively I know that there's so much more to them than what people believe or know. They feel like they are the teachers to me and we are the students. So if we only would listen to them and understand how connected we are to them, that they're really part of our greater soul family. And so I really felt it was time to get a higher message out, not just simply a book about the whales and dolphins, their biology, or you hear a lot about the size of their brains, how big how much they use their brains a lot more. Or their family units, which are always very important, or how, they communicate and things. But I wanted to take it a step higher. And the reason I chose to start with a children's book instead of a book for adults is because I knew at a level that children still remember this. They really don't have to stretch their imaginations far to understand the message in this book, because being so young and so fresh from spirit, I guess you could say, that message has not been lost to them.
Right.
It will make perfect sense to them, and I want them to keep remembering, not to lose that, because as children grow older, society tends to, the societal expectations are placed on them, and the programming settles in, and they begin to forget. So I wanted to start with the children, just to keep that memory alive, and also for the adults who read to them, their parents, their teachers, their babysitters, their grandparents, just to, hopefully spark some recognition, spark a memory, and intrigue them enough to maybe change their perspective a little bit. It's kind of like kicking things up a notch,
Yes.
So it felt that it was the right thing to do, to start with children, because I really feel like I have a strong connection to kids anyway. I know I've been a teacher in a past lifetime or two. So
drawing on that wisdom, why not?
Why not? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it just felt like the perfect way to get the message across. So, and my mom, when I was 12, 13 years old, she gave me this beautiful book called Whales, Dolphins, and Man, and it was a treasure. She knew how much I loved them. That's it. And I still have it, and I treasure it. And just going back and connecting, I'm kind of like connecting to my own childhood, and reinforcing that wonderful feeling and that feeling I had for whales and dolphins. And
I'm going to show everybody the cover by itself, because you did find this book, the cover anyway, at Amazon.
Used, they have them used still, right?
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
I bet that was kind of a shock to you too, though, huh?
to see if they still had it. Yeah, I was really stunned that they had some used copies. Yeah. So, but they did. So that was neat. That was really pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, so I was kind of the geek in my family growing up, and I wasn't reading Tiger Beat magazine. I was reading National Geographic.
Me too.
Were you? Okay.
I was too. And even as a 20-year-old, I was still reading it cover to cover.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. My grandfather ordered it just for me.
Well, that was a good grandfather. He loved you.
Oh, he was a doll. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love.
Well, here, you have somebody else here that wants to say hi. That's
Okay,
Madeline. Yeah, Madeline wants to say, hey.
that's my
Hey,
youngest
Madeline.
sister. Yes, that's my youngest sister.
Okay,
Hi,
and she says,
Ned.
I remember that book.
Yeah,
Well, it made an impression, that's for sure.
it sure did. I read it
Yeah.
cover to cover probably a dozen times,
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your connection, your spiritual connection
To
to
whales and dolphins.
representation. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that I really feel that they're part of my soul family, and this might sound a little odd to some people, but I honestly feel that it's some way I am part dolphin, only instead of swimming in the ocean, I walk on the land.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a strong connection to the Syrian star system, where the sacred cetaceans originate. So it just feels like kind of like home to me. So, and they're just my extended family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my spiritual bond with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of explains, well, just
Mhm.
even the pathway that you took to find Star Nations Publishing, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I've shared this with you, but I want to share it with our audience, is
Okay.
the connection that you and I have is because it goes a little bit further than publisher and author,
Hmm.
is because my home planet is Cirrus. That's where
Yeah.
my soul was conceived.
Hmm.
And so to have somebody who has that connection in the way that you do, and
Uh-huh.
especially to spirit beings who originated there as well.
Right. I have goosebumps all over me,
I
Neshy.
know, I know. So the connection goes much deeper than just
Mhm.
the usual, publisher and author.
Mhm.
Um, and why don't we, I know I didn't talk to you about this piece, but it just kind of came into my mind. And so I think somebody on my team really wants us to explain even the path that you took to how many years were you sitting with the information about the book? And I know that you actually had the manuscript done by the time
Yeah.
you met up with one of my other sisters, Sharon,
Right.
Sharon Rosenblum, and who
Right.
who did the editing. So if you can tell us that part of the story.
Okay. Well, this was actually the third book that I wrote. I have a couple of other manuscripts that I actually did before Sound Weavers. But this one, it was just wanting to come first. It
Hmm.
just wanted to come first. And no matter what I did, I just, I thought, well, I wrote this one first. This one should be coming first, but no, it didn't want to come first. This one, it just felt like the timing was right for this. For a few years, I kind of did the usual author route,
Hmm.
and submitted to probably 300 different publishers doing the typical way,
Hmm.
which is very long, involved, and frustrating process. I
Hmm.
could probably paper a room with the number of no thank yous I received, you
Yeah.
know. But I didn't give up. I didn't give up, and I knew that eventually the right publisher would come along. It would just have to be in kind of divine timing and when that was meant to happen.
Hmm.
And so one day I just approached my friend and mentor, Eddie Mullins, who also writes for Star Nations
Right.
magazine,
Yeah.
right? And he's been a good friend of mine for several years now. And I asked him just to take a look at it, just to read it, not to edit it, but just for content. How did it feel to him?
Hmm.
And he said it was great. And I said, and he said, well, you're not asking me to edit that. And I said, oh, no, it's okay. I'm looking for an editor,
Uh-huh.
just because even if you're a good writer, you need to have that other
Right. Hmm.
independent voice there. Take a look at it. And he said, well, I know somebody. Hang on a second. And that's how I met Sharon. So
Hmm.
he kind of introduced me to Sharon, who was very, very interested in it. And
Hmm.
she said, absolutely, she'd do it. And I had an immediate connection and rapport with her. she was just very, very warm and open, and I felt like I knew her too.
Uh-huh.
Just, and then she said, well, I know this illustrator. And that's how I met Christine,
Uh-huh.
who's done such a beautiful job on the book. And then she said, well, let me connect you with Neshi. So it was just kind of like everything just kind of like bing, 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 bing fell into place,
Right.
and I didn't even have to do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just the synchronicity and the timing were just perfect.
Yes.
So it was great. It was great. And the whole process has been very smooth. And everybody that I've worked with has been just a joy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I couldn't have asked for a better experience.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say that, we're very, very aware, very cognizant of the spiritual process that you go through to write a book like this. So I really, just about any book, if you turn your attention to it, right?
Right. Hmm.
And so to be respectful of that process and the input that you got from your spiritual team, from the whales, from the dolphins,
Hmm.
and to be respectful of that, that it's not your typical mainstream kind of publishing relationship. No,
No.
no,
Mm-mm. No,
no.
not at all. It's
Yeah.
better. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. So with the sound weavers,
Hmm.
one of the things that I like many things about your book, but one of the things that I'm really, really aware of is that yes, your target reader is the children.
Right.
But what I like about it is that you don't talk down to them.
No. And that was something when it first came out to me and I first started writing it and it just kind of flowed. It didn't it was easy to get it out, I should say. And then I took a second look at the language that I was using and I thought, hmm, it's kind of it's there. It's not your typical language, as you said, that you would see in a book for children 4 to 8 years old.
Mhm.
Then and I'm getting this other message that the children who read this will understand it.
Yeah.
Because even if the word is not something they're familiar with, and there's a glossary in the book to help with that, the energy will speak to them and they'll know what the message is,
Mhm.
even if they don't know the word.
Right.
They will know. They will
Right.
know exactly what it is. And
Mhm.
you're right. So many children being born now, there's so many highly evolved kids coming into the planet right now. They are so intelligent. And I have a few of
Mhm.
them myself, even though they're a little older, but it just strikes me that the children, now they don't need to be told. They don't need to have things explained to them.
Right.
They know it intuitively and they'll pick up on it quite
Mhm.
well. So,
Mhm.
no, I didn't want to, and I just said, well, didn't think I should change anything. And
No.
Sharon said, no, 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 don't change a word.
Oh, no.
And you said, don't change anything. I said,
No.
okay, okay, well, then we're on the right track.
That's right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's so many um, axillary kind of things that come from that is because the adult who is reading to them,
Hmm.
it might be in the first pass, they might think, this is too far above their heads, right?
Yeah, and right.
But
Hmm.
I think that their adult relatives are going to find out that the children are much more aware than they give them
Hmm.
credit for, and it's going to help maybe possibly their relationship and have a different kind of relationship because they know now they
Right.
you know
Hmm.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the first things that struck me when the first time I read the manuscript.
Hmm. Yes, yes. I got a few. I remember when I submitted this manuscript to other publishers and editors, one of the frequent comments I got back in reply was, this is too advanced for this age group. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think you know this age group. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going
Yeah.
to be okay.
Yeah. And you're right, the that age group, um, well, children in general, I would say at least in this last generation and maybe even the last two or three generations are much different in vibration than we were when we were that age,
Yes, for sure.
you know?
Definitely. I see it all the time.
Yes.
It just is, you can see them on Facebook videos and just people, and just talking to children. I
Hmm.
have my great nephew whose review is going to be on the back cover is one of them, you
Yes.
know, and
Uh-huh.
very, very in tune with nature.
Hmm.
He's just a great kid, and he gets it. He gets
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
You
he
know,
does. Yes, he
yeah,
does.
he does.
Um, and one of the other things that I wanted to share with our audience was um, with your connection to the whales, and dolphins and porpoises.
Right.
Do you have? You probably have many. I'm going to ask you this question. You're going to think, okay, which one? Which a story about a connection to a whale, dolphin, or porpoise that is so significant that it just stays with you even after many, many years.
A personal experience
A
with
personal
one.
experience. Hmm.
Hmm. Well, I guess I could say I live in Baltimore,
Hmm.
if anybody's not, or close to Baltimore City, and we have the National Aquarium is downtown, and they have dolphins there. I don't like them being in captivity, but I also understand that they also are ambassadors for their species.
Hmm.
But I do remember the last time I went down there, which actually was probably only about a year ago. And I sat and watched the dolphin show, but they have below the tank, they have like a viewing area
Hmm.
down, like you have to go down these stairs. And at the bottom, they have you can see the dolphins up close. If they're generally just swim back and forth for the most part or round in circles. But on this occasion, I got right up to the glass and I just put my hands up on the glass, and one of them came right up to me and just kind of looked at me, you
Hmm.
know. And when you look, I'm going to get emotional about it. When you look into the eyes of a dolphin or whale, there's such love
Hmm.
and such wisdom there that it goes right to your heart.
Hmm.
And sorry, Neshi.
Oh, no, no, don't apologize. You're speaking from your heart.
Yeah, so it stays with you, and it's kind of like just a light beam going right into your heart space. And
Mhm.
I love that, and I didn't want to leave, I just wanted to stay there and
Uh-huh.
just no words, just energy, just
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
love was just going back and forth.
Or
So,
yes,
yes, so that
unconditional love.
that stays with me.
Yes, yes, and it's unconditional love.
It is.
Um,
And
and
as
I
they have
think,
all
yeah,
conditions, they're just
yeah,
pure love.
yeah, it's pure love.
It's
And
pure
as
love.
two-leggeds, as humans,
Yes.
um, generally speaking, we don't remember what that is like,
No,
you know,
I agree.
is to receive that unconditional pure love.
Hmm.
And so when we feel it, we want to stay in it because it feels so good.
Yes, yes, you don't want to leave. It's
Mhm.
um it's amazing and just
Yeah.
kind of wraps around you, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was years ago. I was in California. I was there for a feng shui international conference, and a bunch of us went to SeaWorld.
Oh, okay. Yes,
And
I've been there too.
yeah, yeah. And so
Florida,
that huge tank, right? The huge tank.
right?
Um, it's just so mesmerizing just to be there and just to watch.
Hmm.
But I did basically what you did. I went up to
Right,
the window close enough
right.
that I could put my hand on it, and
Hmm.
I got grounded, and I just opened up my heart chakra and I had my eyes closed. And I was just saying, how much I appreciated them, all of them,
Yeah.
and how much I loved them, no matter whether we've met or not. I still love you.
Hmm.
And I stood there for a minute. My eyes were closed, and I was just telling them that I love them. And I heard this gasp. So I opened my eyes, and there were people kind of standing behind me.
Yeah.
When I looked, because when I looked where the fish were,
Hmm.
the aquarium, I had so many fish coming up to the window and trying to get in front of the others to try to get up to the window.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's,
it just, brought tears to my eyes, but I was also very happy that
mhm.
that we were able to communicate,
Right.
you know.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if I had
Brings
my drum with me, I would have been drumming for them too, but
yeah.
we have a message here from Jackie. Jackie says, I'm so happy to see someone who is affected by the soul brother and sisters as I was when I met them in Alaska.
Mm. I
Yeah.
would love to do that in the wild, really. That's a dream I have, just to go out and either swim with them in the wild, or, like the dolphins,
Hmm.
or just go on a beautiful whale watching excursion just to see
Uh-huh.
them in their, and
Right.
that's got to be an amazing experience. I get
Yeah.
seasick, but I'd have to I'll have to get around that.
Acupuncture. Yeah, not the Dramamine. Don't do the Dramamine, but do acupuncture. Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's an auricular, for the ear,
uh,
and they'll do that for you, and they'll also show you the pressure points in your wrist and your hands to
hmm.
be able to do it yourself.
Okay, I'll have
Yeah,
to look
to be
into
able to
that.
give yourself some comfort. So you can go. You
All
can
right.
go. Yeah, you just have to
Yeah.
carve out the time.
Yeah, I don't want to spend it all hanging over the railing.
Well, and that would be so great too, Jackie. Thanks for sharing that because,
Okay.
Alaska is beautiful. And
Oh,
I can just
yes.
imagine what it'd be like to be on that deck of that boat and having them breach in front of
Mhm.
you, and you
Yeah,
got the mountains behind them and
right.
how beautiful.
Hawaii is another nice place where the humpbacks breed.
Yes.
I can't remember which island it is, but
Yeah.
that's a really beautiful place to see humpback whales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have another contributing writer to the magazine. She's a feature writer. Her name is Jan Beaver,
Hmm.
and she is First Nations, Native American from Canada. She's an Ojibwe,
Hmm.
and she spends a lot of time in Hawaii. That's where they winter, and she has a very strong connection to whales.
Hmm.
And she has recordings that they've done.
Oh,
Yeah, and they do a lot of advocacy work for them when they're down there.
nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
and I know that she's told me the island too. I don't think it's Kauai because that's where Sharon lived.
Could be Maui. I'm not sure. Might be
Yeah,
Maui.
that sounds right. That
Hmm.
sounds right. Yeah. And Jackie's asking here. She says, how you described the love in their eyes was exactly what I saw and felt.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. You can't help it. You can't help it. But the eyes really are the windows to the soul, and
Hmm.
it's just right there. It's
Hmm.
all right there. There's nothing held back.
No,
No.
no. And so with your very long and loving connection with the cetaceans,
Hmm.
um, I see if I can word this correctly
Hmm.
here. I'm asking, for the right words here.
Okay.
Is what is their primary message to us two-leggeds?
Remember who you are. Remember our connection. Remember that you were the sacred land guardians here on Gaia, and we are the guardians of the oceans. We worked together in sacred partnership. They
Mm-hmm.
want us to remember this, and they want us to treasure that connection and honor Gaia, honor ourselves, and honor them, and do all we can to help the planet heal right now, because it's been in desperate need of it for a very, very long time. They need us to open our hearts again and
Mm-hmm.
just to see things clearly through our hearts and to remember. And we go back into that inner child and feel that connection you had when you were a child to the animals and to all living things before, the pressures of life and the expectations were all put on us as we got older.
I was going to say the adulting, before the adulting happened, right?
Part, yes, the adulting part that comes with so many responsibilities.
Yeah.
We need to reconnect with that inner child, the inner child that knows, and go back there again. And that's what they need us to do.
Aw.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's doable.
Very doable.
It's nothing that's out of reach at all.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps all over again.
That's good. That's a good sign. And even the little bit that we can do, even though we might live like in the interior of the United States or interior of wherever you're living.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
By an ocean, that doesn't matter.
No, the energy, there's no limitations. There are no limitations. Energy just goes everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yes.
So even though they might be thousands of miles away from you, it doesn't matter because there's no barriers to it. It can travel anywhere.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you can send them all kinds of love. You can, you can appreciate them from wherever you're at. And I think, Madonna, more importantly, let's put a little behavior behind that, a little action behind that. And then is, even if you just change one thing, one small thing, and maybe that's not using plastic straws.
Right.
Maybe it's not using plastic bags when you go get groceries.
Yes, and those are, oh my gosh, so many whales and dolphins are found with those items in their stomachs. Yes. And it's a real tragedy. That breaks my heart every time.
Yeah, but we can actually do that in our own lives. Right. Yes. And when somebody asks us about it, hey, this is the best thing I can do right now. It's a small thing that can lead to much bigger things.
Many small things make bigger things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just recently that the plastic straw thing has come, really front and center a lot,
Yes.
And I just sit back one day and think, just in my lifetime, how many plastic straws have I used?
I know. Yeah, when you think about it.
What happens to them when you put it in the trash?
Right.
What happens to them? And so it was right after that. This was a couple years ago. It was right after that I ordered my stainless steel straws.
Oh, you got stainless. Okay. All right. There you go.
I do.
They're getting very popular.
Yeah. And so, it's just something small, but it's meaningful to me, and it's meaningful to, our other relatives that live in nature.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Or just picking up trash when you go for a walk. Yeah. I do that a lot. And just, I'll take a bag with me and, it drives my sons crazy if they're walking with me because I'm always stopping to pick something up.
Yeah,
but it does make a difference, and nature appreciates it very, very much.
Yep. Anything that's not biodegradable.
Yes.
Anything that's not biodegradable. That's Paul and I, and a lot of times I even have a glove in my pocket that I can put on to pick something up that's kind of ucky. I can do that. Now we have a couple of pictures I wanted you to address.
Right.
And because they're ones that mean something a great deal to you. And so here's the first one. I'm going to do it solo here so everybody can really see it. Isn't it beautiful?
That spirit of dolphin. Yeah, this is a beautiful. The artist is Ellen Brenneman, and she paints spirit animals. This is spirit of dolphin, and I just love the colors that she chose to use here. This is her original painting, and I remember her posting something on her page on Facebook that said she was currently about to start a painting a dolphin. And I kind of reached out to her and said, I think I might like that painting. And it just, and she said, I think it's meant for you. So I I got it. I got that painting.
Mhm.
And then she had, there's another one that I sent you to, which is right, Spirit of Whale.
Mhm.
And she had that one actually up on an auction.
Oh,
That
did
one
you?
was, I didn't know about that one until she put it up for auction, and she was raising money for a charity. But I was the one that bid on it,
Mm.
and I won it. And she said, well, obviously, Whale wants to be with Dolphin. So they, so I just love how she, if you look at her, she's got a beautiful website where, and an Etsy shop as well. But the way she paints animals and uses color is very, very different. Very
Mhm.
different. But
Mhm.
they kind of speak to my heart. I
Yeah.
really love it.
I just want to put that one back up again,
Sure.
because I want to put her name in the chat.
Yeah.
Ellen
Brenneman.
Brenneman.
Mm-hmm.
Sure I
Yeah.
spell it right.
She's a very, very, she also feels like soul family. She's a very, very sweet soul. I love her to death.
That's spelling counts.
It's Mercury retrograde. You're excused.
But you know, when you sent them to me and I took a look at them, I thought, oh my God, these are gorgeous.
Aren't they beautiful? Yes.
And so, what are the sizes?
Let me see. The dolphin is I got it right over there. It's like a I want to say like a 12 by 16.
Oh,
The humpback's a little smaller. It's probably an 11 by 14, maybe around that size.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the dolphin actually sits. I have this little altar on
Mm-hmm.
in my room, and she sits behind it and kind of is one of my spirit guides, and it means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. I can
Yeah.
see why.
I love
And
the purple. I love that purple.
it's a happy dolphin.
It is a very happy dolphin. I just love how she uses the colors there, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Here, Christina's saying I've liked Ellen's work for a long time.
Oh yeah, she's
Doesn't
great.
surprise me.
Mhm.
It doesn't surprise me a bit.
No, no,
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah. So thank you for sharing those with us.
Oh, sure.
You know, uh, when we can bring um, our totems and our power animals in as close as you have, you
Hmm.
know, you can really tell how they can help us with applying our gifts,
Hmm.
right? Um, Working on our soul contract work, you know? Yeah, because they certainly have helped you a great deal.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And they keep telling me I need to play more.
I know. I get the same message all the time.
I know, you're too serious. You have to get outside and play more. Okay. Yeah, I know, I know. They're nagging me.
Mhm. Yeah, but I know it's for our highest good that they're telling us that, you know,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and I, you know, there's on those rare occasions where I can actually break away and do something fun like that.
Hmm.
And hopefully one's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Crossing fingers that it can actually happen.
Okay. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah, really. Really. All right. So I wanted to share with everybody. We've got not quite 15 minutes left.
Oh my gosh. Oh, really?
I
That
know
would,
it goes fast.
it sure does.
I wanted to talk to everybody and share with them about the publishing piece of it, of your book, The Sound of Weavers. And we're coming up on being complete and actually hitting the publish button at the end of this month. And then we're going to start the full promotion of the book. And you have something very special planned in May. Do you want to
I
talk about that a
do.
bit?
Sure, sure. I can take a few minutes. It's a book launch party, and it's going to be here at the Red Brick Station at the Avenue at White Marsh on May 4th at 6:30. And I have a special guest who is going to be participating in this book launch party, and that is Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. I've been really supportive of Sea Shepherd for several years. They are, I don't know, people are familiar with them or not,
Maybe
but
to
they
help us understand them a little bit, because we might
okay.
not know much.
Many years ago, Sea Shepherd, not many, I would say maybe four years ago, they had a show on Animal Planet called Whale Wars. Now they're an international conservation society. It's Sea Shepherd International, but they kind of are on the forefront of ocean conservation and protection of all marine species, particularly the whales and dolphins. In their show Whale Wars, they you would see them primarily down in the Antarctic waters, in international waters, trying to, fight the poaching and hunting that was going on down there, and because it's illegal to be doing that. So they were focused on that in that show primarily, but they also advocate in all parts of the world. The Faroe Islands, Denmark, Taiji, Japan. They also are huge supporters of the sea turtle populations that are just being decimated by drift nets and people raiding turtle nests on the beaches. And they probably, speaking of drift nets, have probably reeled in thousands of miles of drift nets that are just left in place. Boats put them out and just leave them there. And unfortunately, so many whales and seals and other marine animals, even sharks, they drown in those nets. And it's really tragic. But they patrol. They have many ships. And they patrol the oceans, just doing everything they can to stop the illegal poaching and fishing. And they're just on the forefront, really. They have a wonderful Baltimore, D.C. chapter. So I kind of thought, well, if I'm going to have somebody at my book launch, I'm going to shoot for the top.
Why not, right?
Why not? Yeah. So I asked, and they contacted their corporate office, and they came back, go for it. So they were going to be at my book launch, and they will have video and educational materials available for everybody, and they'll answer any questions you have about what they do. And so I'm really honored that they're going to be participating, because their message goes hand in hand with my books. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled they're going to be there.
Good. Yeah. Me too. And you said it's in May. Did you give us a date? I don't think so.
May 4th. May 4th.
May the 4th be with you, right?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's great. And I'll be signing my books there. I'll have book signing there, and I'll have some giveaways and some really nice raffle prizes, so you can, if anybody really wants to get like this beautiful little orca. And I have some lovely Sea Shepherd merchandise too. So those will be all there, just for fun. And
yeah. Well, we're very excited about that.
So am I.
And we're actually going to be doing an online book launch as well.
Right.
And yes, and that's going to be in the first part of April. And we'll get all the promotions out, I would say, within the next week or so.
Okay.
Audience, you'll be seeing a whole bunch of stuff about sound weavers and Madonna DePalo coming on your screens. And so, yeah. And one of the things that I love most about the publishing end of Star Nations is to be able to help an author get their message out. Where to actually put you on the stage and give you the microphone, and that we amplify your voice as much as we possibly can, and to support you in that. And
I'm thrilled. I'm really very happy to be part of the Star Nations family, Neshi. And the message of this book is so important, I think, and it's the perfect timing for it to go out right now, So I'm absolutely thrilled that it's going to be out there finally. And I'll feel like I've really, really contributed into helping the healing of our planet.
Yeah, yeah, Grandmother Earth. In
Yes.
Potawatomi, it's she's called Kokmis Khan. That means our grandmother Earth in
Oh,
Potawatomi. Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Your sister's asking what time on the 4th, on May 4th.
6:30. I'll be getting some invitations out, and I'll be mailing some invitations out soon.
I
Yes,
know, I know. Time
6:30.
flies really quickly.
Yes, it
Um,
does. Yes. Mhm.
yeah. So I don't know. We got about not quite 9 minutes left. I'm thinking of what did we not cover that's really, really important. I'm gonna give my team this. That is really important that we should talk about.
Well, you did want to know how I arrived at the title, right?
Yeah.
Sam, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Several years ago, I read a book by a woman who was trying to describe whale song and like the noises that dolphins make, like the chirps and the whistles and the squeaks and
Oh yeah.
things.
Hmm.
And the way she described it was, well, it's like they're weaving through the water. And that phrase just stuck in my head, and it created this picture in my mind. And I could just see this in my mind's eye. And so when it came time for me, when I wrote the book, it was just a no-brainer. It had to be called The Sound Weavers,
Yeah.
and just popped in. So it was very, very easy. That was the title it was meant to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I said you've been helped all the way along, that was
Hmm.
a part of it.
That was
You were
definitely a
supposed
part.
to have that book,
Yes.
read that phrase.
Hmm. There's another part of it, I wanted to mention. Are you familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto?
Yes.
Okay. I many years ago he's, for people that aren't familiar with him, he did a lot of research into the effects of sound on water molecules.
Hmm.
He would compare, like, for instance, classical music's effects on water to hard rock music, or words, spoken words or written words, like comparing "I love you" to "I hate you," or "you're beautiful" to "you're ugly."
Hmm.
And he would subject these things to the water. Then he would freeze the water and examine the water crystals under a microscope.
Hmm.
And what he found was the very positive energy words and music. The water crystals looked like the most beautiful snowflakes.
Yes.
But on the opposite side, those water crystals that had been subjected to very negative words and hard sounds, harsh sounds, were very distorted,
Hmm.
and they didn't even look like water crystals at all.
Right.
I remember reading that and thinking to myself, it was like a big light bulb moment. I suddenly just put two and two together. That's what the whales and dolphins are doing.
Oh,
They
yes.
are emitting such a high frequency of love through the water that they are making beautiful water crystals and just improving the health of the water everywhere their vibration travels.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like, he didn't mention that, but it was kind of like I just had this big light bulb moment.
Yeah. 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 Because
Yeah.
if we can do it, so can they.
If right, exactly. So it kind of stuck. It's like you said, all these things just kind of came in at the right moment and just led me up to this point.
Hmm.
So one of the
Hmm.
illustrations in the Sound Weavers, you will see Christine did a lovely job of a beautiful water crystal. It's surrounded, and she says it's one of her favorite illustrations in there.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful water crystal, and that's what that was meant to convey,
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So, audience, you're getting a little bit of the backstory.
A little bit of the backstory.
A little bit of the
Child,
backstory, which is great. No, that's
yeah.
great.
And the
Um,
child in the story is actually based on my oldest son. So he looks just like my oldest son. When he was 6, when he was about 6, yeah.
when he was a little boy.
He was a little boy, yes.
Yeah, your sister's saying, "Way to go, sis. And you be famous tonight." Thank you for sharing. Well, and it's just starting, Monica. We're just starting. So
Mm,
this is the first of many. And Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna, yeah. I would, it'd really kind of be a very interesting nice show, I think. We
Mhm.
just did a show last night on the Tarot Journey with Julie Hedges.
Yeah, I came into that a little late, but I came
Yeah,
into it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Leslie Saranesi, who also writes for us, she is an animal communicator, and she
Mhm.
has some wonderful stories about porpoises. And I'm just thinking, I think we should do a show with the two of you
Oh, cool.
and talk about the cetaceans and the
That would be
stories,
fun.
the conversations she's had with them.
Uh-huh. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what they have to say to her. That would be fun.
Yeah, I can't remember which issue it is, but she does share one of them. I'll have to look for it. Yeah, it was a couple years ago that she wrote that one, and I'll look for it and share it with you.
Okay, great. That'd be
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we're going to be doing the online book launch in April, and so we'll be doing the same thing. Donna's going to be here with me, and we're going to be talking about the book, but we're going to have giveaways, and we're going to have an opportunity maybe to get one of the books and have it signed by Madonna and sent to you. We'll be running a special for the purchase of the books, and
Right.
so watch for all of that. You guys are on the leading edge, the cutting edge of that by being here tonight. So, Madonna, parting words for our audience. What would you like them to know that we haven't talked about yet?
Gosh, let me think. Hmm. I don't. I just maybe like to expand on a little bit on what I said earlier. I think just go outside and connect with nature. Feel the energy of the trees and the wind that blows through your hair. And you can, if you can, I mean, I know it's a little cold right now, but when it's a little warmer, go to the water, put your feet in, put your
Mhm.
feet in, feel the breeze on your face, and you will feel your connection to the whales and the dolphins traveling to you on that breeze and through that water.
Mhm.
Just open your heart to it, connect with nature, and because nature is the biggest healer of all.
Yes,
So
that's for sure.
remember your connection to all that is.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Good point that we're not separate from nature. We
We are
are nature.
we are nature. We're all facets of one.
Mhm.
And we're all connected to each other. And that is a big, big message in Sound Weavers.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it
Hmm.
is. You know, there was a movement not too many years ago in 2016. It started, and actually, when you talk to somebody who is really directly involved with it, they tell you 2015, and that is the water protectors
Oh,
protecting the
yes,
water.
yes, yes.
And there's a phrase that is actually in the Lakota language, and it's called Mini Wachoni, um, and that means that water is life.
What? Oh my gosh, I was just going to say water is life.
Water is life.
Yes,
Water is
yes.
life, and that it's life for not just us, but
No.
all of grandmother's
All,
children, all of
all,
grandmother Earth's children. We all need water.
we all need water.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's very,
and
very important.
the sound weavers. The
Hmm.
sound weavers know that better than any of us,
They
and
do.
they're here to help us with that. And
They
so
are.
there is that divine connection, the connection between us and our relatives called the whales and the dolphins.
They
And
are our family.
mhm,
Hmm.
yeah,
Right.
and how what better way to be able to express our love, right, than to
Hmm.
support them and to do the best we can to get the message across.
To get the
And
message across.
a
Yeah.
lot of that has to do with our own behavior.
Yes.
It
Yes.
starts with us individually, really.
It does, and it snowballs and it grows exponentially. Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
It's
Yeah, and so with that, thank you everybody for joining Madonna and I tonight to listen to the sharing about this new book, that children's book that's coming out called The Sound Weavers, and that Madonna, thank you for sharing your story with us.
very welcome. I'm
Yes.
very happy to be here. This is fun.
It was
I'm
fun,
glad
wasn't it?
everybody joined. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and thank you everybody for being with us tonight. And those who'll be watching through the recorded video, thank you for being here as well. And with that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And we'll see you again next week for Communications from Home, where my next guest is Ayesha Shiba from India. I'm helping Paul Kraus and Ayesha out, and I'm going to do an interview that Paul was trying to get done this morning. And so join me next week on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for that interview. The title of it will be The Future of Spirituality.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
interesting.
I know, doesn't it?
I like to hear that one. Yeah.
So enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you. And
Thank you.
next
Thank
week.
you.
Good night, everybody.